Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of This Is My Bourbon podcast. Why did I start the intro this way? I'm going to start over.
Isn't that how you usually start it?
Yeah, but it was just kind of all over the place. I was up here, and then I was down there, and then I was in the middle a little bit, and then I found my way back up.
It's a good progression. Not progression. But...
Work is hell, y'all. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of This Is My Bourbon podcast. I'm your host, Perry, and I got Curtis and Swan back in the bourbon room for the first time in what feels like ages. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having us, man.
Curtis is
What's
busy
up?
killing gnats. How you guys been?
Pretty good. I haven't been doing much of anything.
Yeah, Kurt just got back from a trip.
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
been great. Yeah, had a whole week. Got to go to the beach, relax, have some bourbon. I had a good time.
You went to go see Jimmy Buffett?
Yeah, got to see Jimmy Buffett. Margaritas.
There you go, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm not much of a parrot head myself, but,
It's all right.
you know.
Different
Yeah.
strokes.
Yeah. Some maybe sad news. I haven't really decided yet. This is the last episode I'll be recording with long hair.
Yeah, like, be about just like, this is the last episode I'll ever be recording.
Period.
Period.
92 was a great time to stop. Yeah, finally, by the time this episode comes out, I'll have gotten a haircut, and everybody can stop bugging me about how long my hair is. So,
Getting it just in time for winter.
I just love that cool winter breeze on my bald head. I mean, nothing feels better.
There's nothing like getting a haircut and then immediately like my security blanket is gone. And then going out into the windy like Arctic. No, I can't do it.
No. Anyway, that's my personal update for everybody listening this week. We start every show out with a segment called Flying Blind, where I blind our co-hosts or our guests with something, and they have to figure out what it is. What do you guys think about this one?
It's bourbon.
And that's Insights with Swan. Thanks, Swan.
It is bourbon.
Yeah.
I will say it's pretty good, though.
I like this better than I remember
Yeah.
having liked it in the past. It's kind of like a like if a Bananas Foster had a lot of like caramel on it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Which I think is probably counterintuitive to how Bananas Foster's works. But
I'm all right with it though. I mean, you can put caramel on anything. It's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because this is sat open for a little while, but I did not mind that
No, I think it's pretty
at
good.
all.
There's nothing outstanding about it, but it's
No.
solid.
The finish is a little short. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of only getting like a brown sugar note on the finish, and even then, it's not super pronounced. It's kind of subtle,
Yeah.
but it's really not bad. I thought the nose was okay.
Yeah, the nose is pretty good.
For me, the nose was actually the downfall of it.
Yeah,
For me,
yeah. I
I
can
just
see
didn't
that.
think there was anything there. I think the palate was definitely the strong suit.
I totally agree with that.
Of this,
I totally agree with that.
what were you saying, Swan?
I like the palate. I could see this being an easy everyday drinker.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on what it is. I'm not trying to spend $60-$80 on a daily drinker.
Yeah, I mean, if this is affordable, definitely cool.
It's most certainly affordable. It is very old Barton Bottled and Bond, which is odd though because they don't make the Bottled and Bond anymore. They make 100 proof.
Huh? Okay.
Very old Barton. Which, I mean, same price point. It's still like what, $13, $14, $15, something like that. Same proof. I'm gonna guess roughly the same age. You know, probably in this case it's more like 4 to 5 years. Probably just for blending and flavor purposes. But yeah, I quite like this.
Yeah, and they have a 6-year version of this, right? They used to?
I think they used to.
Okay.
Yeah. And if it's not the Bottled and Bond version, it's like the 80 proof version. I can't remember for sure.
I don't know. I know it's got the white on the top, just like the Bottled and Bond.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see what that's like.
Yeah. But anyway, the reason that I did this was because this is from the same distillery that today's episode
which
revolves around.
everyone has been waiting for.
It's just,
At least
Or
Kurt's
me.
been waiting
people
for this.
have been
me.
asking for this episode for months now, saying, when is Curtis finally going to get his day? Well, guess what, people? Today is Curtis's day.
I got my day, guys.
We are doing 1792 products.
We've talked
All
about
of
Wild
them.
Turkey enough. He is done with us.
Yeah, I'm tired of it.
1792.
I'm tired of your Wild Turkey 101. I'm tired of your regular Wild Turkey. I'm tired of your rare breed. I'm tired of your old turkey. I'm tired of it all. I'm tired of it.
Are you good?
Today's the day. Today is the day for 1792.
Folks, we regret to inform you that Curtis Conrad has now left the podcast forever. I'm just kidding. No, man, I'm excited for this. We've talked about it for so long, and
I'm tired of
got
your
it.
Kentucky Spirit.
oh, okay. Now he's just looking at my cabinet.
Yeah, I'm just looking like turkey products.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, I'm ready for this.
Me too.
Shall we start with their main product, the small batch?
Yeah, I'm down. Do you guys want to take like 2 seconds to get your graphic design element out of the way? Because I love this bottle.
Oh yeah. So I want to bring something up too. This is actually the second time that we've had an episode totally centered around 1792, and it was way back when I think it was like within the first 10 or 12 episodes that we did, if I remember correctly. So I'm interested to see what we think about it now as opposed to then. And a lot of what we talked about too was just how beautiful this bottle design is, and just their branding across the board. That really awesome Art Deco early 1900s design sense. Just a beautiful, beautiful representation of their brand.
Yeah, the gold cork stopper.
Oh, gold topper.
The gold topper is just really nice. The overall branding on it is just really nice with the Art Deco. Some flourishes, stuff like that. Very simplistic. And then the cohesiveness between all these products with just the color neck label. Pretty nice. I will say that I think that is one of its strong suits, is it being so cohesive. I think that maybe that's a little bit of a knock, a negative on. They aren't really differentiated as different products that much. I don't know how people view that, but
I personally like the consistency.
yeah,
in the
me
brand.
too. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
if we're nitpicking, that's where it's at.
fair enough.
I just don't like that they don't fit on the shelf well.
Yeah,
I-
it's a little frustrating.
that's about it. But no, I love them. I think they're great. So the small batch.
Small batch. Yeah, we've got 5 of their products on the table. Small batch, single barrel, high rye, foolproof, and the bottled and bond.
Yeah, and we're missing the sweet wheat
Yes.
and the port finish.
And there's one more that we're missing.
The 12-year.
The 12-year.
Yes.
Which it's just now occurring to me. Maybe we should have waited to do this episode until we had gotten the 12 years so we could review it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come back around to that in the future, because as an addendum to this episode.
And I would argue, as far as like looking for these bottles, if you're looking to find them, if you're going to find any of these, it's probably going to be the small batch, the single barrel, the foolproof, and the bottled and bond.
Yeah.
Because right now they're doing quite a few picks of the bottled and bond. Actually, finding just a regular non-pick of it, it's kind of difficult.
It's very strange.
Yeah, and it's the same with the foolproof. They do a ton of picks of it, and it's kind of hard to find one that's not a pick. And the single barrel, for whatever reason, they don't do a ton of picks of. But they're there. They just don't see a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And the high rye, I mean, occasionally you'll find it. I think they put it out every year, but it's not super consistent.
Yeah, I think they only do it maybe like 1 or 2 quarters out of the year. Same with the sweet wheat, same with the port finish
Yeah.
as well. That 12-year, though, I don't think that that's going to be a consistent product in their line. I think that's probably going to be another thing that they put out every now and then.
Yeah. And if you were in Kentucky in 2017, they also have a 225th anniversary
Yes,
bottle.
they do.
Yeah.
But that was Kentucky only, or like relatively close to Kentucky, and it was a like navy neck tag on it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. What's interesting about that bottle too is that they always were saying it's just going to be for 2017, but then like 2018 rolled around, and I still saw some coming out.
Yeah, they sent out a humongous shipment at like November, December, just a second wave of it. And everyone was like, they had that FOMO going on with like, I'm never going to see this again. I'm never going to see it again. They bought like 5-6 bottles.
Yeah.
And then they put out a ton more and they're like,
and
mind.
it sat.
and
it
it just
sat on
sat there.
shelves.
Yeah.
And I mean, the price on it hasn't been that exorbitant on secondary either.
No, no.
It's I don't think it's I've seen it get much higher than like $100.
Yeah, it's usually like 80, 100, which I think it was coming in at like 45.
I think so too.
Something like that.
That sounds about right.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, let's pour some bourbon.
And I think the price on the small batch for this is just like pretty phenomenal.
Price
too.
is what, like $27, $28?
I got it. I got this for $25.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think at most places it's like 27 to 30.
Yeah. Oh, are we going Glencairn?
Yeah, I wanted to. But
Okay. Not that it matters.
I've not actually had this one in a long time. And I remember my first impression of
been a
this
minute.
one, it was almost too smooth. And I wanted a little bit of bite. And this was right when I was getting into bourbon, too. So, I mean, I guess I had Elijah Craig and Wild Turkey 101, and this one just seemed like it was just watered down almost.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You did that weird thing where you went like right for Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Yeah.
And of course everything else is going to taste watered down after one of your earliest experiences.
Whatever do you mean, Perry?
I can't imagine that there are a whole lot of people who are like getting into bourbon and they go, "What's the highest
What?
proof you got?"
Listen,
I'll take
I
it.
walked into a little shopping for sales, and the guy was like, "You're never going to see this again." And I took it as like, I have to have it. It's special. And I took it home, and I was like, it looks like a pirate's bottle. This is so cool. And I was like, 136 proof. I'm a man. I could do this. Totally not a man. Could not handle it. It hurt. I was crying.
That was the one that you passed off to me.
Yeah.
And it was given a loving home and a loving belly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Swan.
No, it hated mine.
This
I
is
love
a weird nose.
I'm getting a lot of banana,
I am too,
like a banana bread.
which is usually typical for me with Barton products.
I get it a lot on the
I
full
think so,
proof,
too.
usually.
I normally get it on really just their very old Barton line of products, but to find this on the small batch, it was kind of a surprise for me, I'd be honest.
Have you guys ever had like the full like caramel apples that they come out with little nuts on the outside of
Yeah,
it?
uh-huh.
Just instead of apples, just do it with a banana.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
see that.
Maybe a little bit of like a hazelnut Nutella kind of like chocolate.
I could see that. I could totally see that. The thing about the banana on this though is that it's artificial. It's like runts. You know, banana like runts. The candy, they have banana in them. Little, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I smell
Really?
on this. Mm-hmm.
I'm getting
Not
that a
much.
little bit.
Really? I'm not getting that.
Just like the sugary aspect that comes along with that. I get that a little bit. This is a good intro bourbon. I kind of overlook this one when I'm recommending stuff for people to try.
Mm-hmm.
This is not bad at all.
See, the banana flavor is not my favorite. I will say that much, and it's kind of picking. I'm picking it up a lot more in the back end of the palate into the finish. I really don't mind this. I think that this is absolutely something that people should try to get the opportunity to expand their palate.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a good introduction to Barton. I would still personally tell people to get the very old Barton bottled in a bond or the 100 proof, whatever you can find, over this.
I think so too.
But that's my preference. And I think that's just me liking the proof. And for me, spoiler, I feel like a lot of these is going to come through that the proof really helps Barton for me. Anytime it gets over that magical 100 proof range, I tend to enjoy it a lot more.
Do we know what the mash bill is on this?
I do not.
Let me look.
What you got, Kurt? You know the mash bill?
I was just looking at the proof. It's 93.7 proof.
They always
But
do
I don't know
weird
if they
stuff
have it
with
on the
their.
back here.
Yeah, they always do weird stuff with their proofs.
Yeah, they don't have it on the back. I will say.
You don't have the proof?
No, I had the proof.
Oh, what was it?
It was 93.7.
Oh, okay, that's right. Sorry. So how much I'm listening?
I will say I haven't had the small batch in a while, and I don't remember it being so banana-y.
I don't either.
So I don't know if it's like maybe that's what it's always like, but I guess I just haven't had it in a while.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's their standard like that's their staple product,
Mm-hmm.
it would probably taste the same.
Yeah.
There's not really a huge variation.
It looks like their mash bill is 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley.
It's actually that's a decent amount of rye.
It's
content.
high-ish. I'd say it's high-ish. So, you know what's interesting? This has just now come to my attention. You remember when we had Black Ridge?
Yeah.
Apparently, Barton actually produces Black Ridge,
Okay.
according to this list. So we could totally throw it into the mix as well
Yeah,
if we
might
wanted.
as well.
I just happen to have a bottle right here. Yeah, we'll talk about the Black Ridge here
I
in a
think this
second.
is a very good introductory bourbon. And I've actually given this to a few people that haven't had bourbon before, and they ended up getting more into it because of it.
That's interesting. Man, it's really been a while since I've had this.
I think my favorite part about this bourbon is I don't think I have another $25-ish one that leaves this much of an oily in your mouth and on the Glencairn. I mean, it's pretty heavy.
It is viscous.
It's very viscous.
And I think the
viscous.
smoothness of the small batch is really nice too.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just so smooth. Which, I mean, I know for you want more of like a kick.
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm not drinking bourbon on a regular basis and I'm still not at the point where I'm picking out notes and I just want something where the biggest descriptor I use on a regular basis is smooth, this is up there, man.
Yeah.
This is definitely up there.
So apparently what we're doing is we're pouring a little bit of this Black Ridge small batch, which, according to this list that I just found, is apparently made by Barton. But when we tried this on the show, we kind of had the impression that it was a Buffalo Trace product. It is, if I remember correctly, it's bottled in Louisville. Huh.
Yeah, see, no, this does not smell like the same thing to me.
Well, that's it. It's interesting. I mean, this is just 3.7 proof points off of the 1792 small batch.
This actually reminds me of the high rye, which I'm sure we'll get to in a minute. But I'd be curious to see if you think the same thing.
They're pretty
smell
Oh,
it.
snap. Yeah. Did we just uncover a conspiracy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What?
I think so. I'd have to get it in a Glencairn for
we'll
sure.
have to try it, yeah.
But that's closer, I think.
Oh, it's very close.
Yeah.
That's weird how close it is. All right, so we'll do the high rye next then.
Yeah. I like the nose on this better.
Better than the small batch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of do.
I mean, there's just more complexity to it. The other one was kind of not one note, but predominantly banana.
Just didn't have a whole lot of depth to
Yeah.
it. I hate to go off of price, but I would kind of anticipate the Black Ridge to have a little bit more to it than the 1792 small batch, just because it is a $30 bourbon as opposed to maybe a $25 bourbon. Yeah, see, that definitely doesn't taste like their regular mash bill.
No, it's void of that banana note for me.
This tastes so much more like a Buffalo Trace product.
Yeah.
It really, really does. So I'll be interested to see, now that we're going to the high rye, how it compares.
I do like that Black Ridge. Whose is that again? Like, where can I get that? Because somebody had, I think, mentioned that was like a Total Wine exclusive or something like that.
It might be.
I thought, I could be wrong, but I thought I had heard somebody say that was kind of like the Flatboat, but for Total Wine.
No, Flatboat for Total Wine is 2-star.
2-star. Okay.
Yeah. I cannot remember if I got this at Total Wine or if I got it at Liquor Barn. Honestly, I can't. I want to say I got it at Liquor Barn. That sounds right to me.
I do like it better than the small batch. I'm going to pour some of this high rye and see what I think.
Go for it.
Back to back.
I keep glancing over at the high rye and thinking that it's an old granddad. Because it's got that same shade of yellow, or excuse me, of orange. Yellow, jeez. The old granddad used to have.
Ooh, no, this has, in the Glencairn, a lot more depth than the Black Ridge. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Still a little banana note, though.
A little bit of banana note. There's almost a dusty funk to this one.
Yeah.
This one's 94.3 proof.
Ooh.
What a weird proofing system they have.
I don't know, man.
I don't get it. There's some method to the madness, I'm sure, but like,
I want to believe
I don't
that
get
it's
it.
like extremely specific, but realistically, I feel like it's more like if we just make it something weird, they're gonna think we put a lot of effort into this. Which I don't know. They definitely did because their products are really solid.
well, I mean, the 225th had a very specific proof to it. It was 92.15.
Yeah.
Which is for 1792, the year that Kentucky was founded, and then 15, it was the 15th state in the Union.
Yeah.
So
It also
Now,
deters me from putting water in a lot of these because I feel like they've bottled it such a specific proof
Yeah,
that I don't want to mess with that.
But like,
Which-
go ahead, Kurt.
Then,
Sorry.
Then again, like, I wouldn't want to add water to it anyway, just because they aren't really like. I don't think it warrants it. It's not like a high proof that it might change.
Yeah, it
anything
doesn't
that
seem
much.
like there's a whole lot. Like there's anywhere for it to really go.
Yeah.
Like it has to be opened up or anything. Now the full proof though,
that
with it
might
actually
be an
being a
instance.
higher proof at 125, I think that is, that's probably more acceptable.
Yeah. What's the mash bill on the high rye?
Do not know. I actually just looked it up and it said that it was unknown.
Unknown, really.
So,
Okay.
I would say it's probably anywhere from 25 to 35% rye in the mash bill.
I'm getting a
like
butterscotch.
Yeah, I got like a buttery note to it.
I like this
Ooh,
one.
this is good.
This is my favorite of the three things we've had so far. Well,
Yeah.
four things.
For sure. This is definitely up there. I wish this was a regular release.
Yeah, me too.
I really do.
Me too. I kind of wish that this were just their normal mash bill.
Yeah, no, I'd be perfectly fine with that. Like a higher rye, I think would be great. I would honestly like when these are retailed, they're 45-ish. They're like 45.99-ish, and they usually see them for about 60, which is not ridiculous. Because if this was on the shelf for 60 regularly, I think I'd pick this up on occasion.
Yeah. I wonder. I would really like to see both of these as their like standard, like offerings.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'd love to do picks of this high rye
Oh man, that would be great.
because I've never seen anything
High rise,
pick wise.
high rise single barrels.
Mm.
Oh man, and to try that at cast strength too. Oh, I'd be in heaven,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, that'd be
I'd
nice.
be in heaven. Oh. All right, somebody get on that. Somebody with more know-how and with more connections than we do.
Yeah. Somebody get us on high rise 1792.
You know what we need to start talking about? We need to start talking about what's going to be the first official This Is My Bourbon podcast barrel pick.
Yeah.
We need,
Russell's.
maybe,
I-
possibly.
I want Russell's or Boone County.
Oh man, a Boone County pick would be sick.
Yeah.
What about New Riff?
New Riff would be cool, but I want to do something like, I don't know, just a little different.
Yeah.
Because at least with the Russell's picks, you kind of know exactly what you gravitate towards and what our group gravitates towards, so you can kind of cater a pick to that.
True. That's true.
And then with the Boone County, everyone I've ever introduced to Boone County, they're immediately like, "Man, this has been sitting on the shelf at some point, and I didn't buy this. This is ridiculous. It's so good."
So, what's interesting about that? It's funny that you say that. Dustin Whitaker was here, as he is every month, a few weeks ago, and they stopped at he and Misty had stopped at Boone County on their way down.
Mhm.
Did I tell you about this? I don't know if I have or not. They had a 14-year cast strength
Yeah, I got to
bottle.
I
Yeah,
got to try it.
yeah. That's been the only Boone County that I've had where I've been like, I'm not entirely sure about that. I think it was just because it was so oaky and just so old. It needed time to open up and needed a little bit of water. But
Yeah. No, but their stuff is solid, and I feel like there's kind of peaks at a younger age compared to like Knob Creek and stuff like that. Because a 15 Knob Creek, like a 15-year-old Knob Creek,
50-year-old.
50, yeah,
Woo!
that'd be ridiculous.
Woo, talk about a short barrel.
Yeah, but like those 15-year picks, they're great. I have no complaints on them. They're really not stupid oaky like some of them are. But then we tried the 14-year, and it was like this is a bit much for me.
Yeah. I just realized something. We haven't done what we've been drinking.
Oh,
We totally skipped out on that.
We did.
yeah.
Sucks, dude. Well, we'll just do it in the middle of the episode. that sound okay?
Yeah.
What have you guys been drinking recently?
Adam Terry gave me a bottle of his new riff pick that Nashville Bourbon Society did.
so good,
It is easily top 3, if not the best new riff pick I've had of that. It is amazing.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I have that pick, and I've also gotten the Whiskey Gallery's new riff pick.
Mm-hmm.
Both are just fantastic. I mean, they are unbelievable bourbons.
Yeah. It's great. And I'm pretty sure it's like 4 years and 3 days. Like it's right.
I think so, yeah.
It's right on the 4-year mark, but it is amazing. And then I've also been drinking, what was it? I got a bottle of the Wilderness Trail, the high rye bourbon. I've been having more of that.
Yeah.
That stuff's great. I got batch 2 because they have D01 and D02 that just came out, and I got D02.
Well, I just have batch 1.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
I think I like batch 1 better, but it's still
good.
Yeah, there's a slight variance, but it's not intense.
Have you tried the Bourbon Karma pick?
I've not opened it yet.
Oh, dude. So last week, my tips and bits were don't sleep on 9-year picks from Knob Creek, even though we've gotten really used to the 14, 15-year-old picks that have been out. There's still some great 9-year-old stuff that's floating around out there. And this Bourbon Karma pick from Tim Gunderman, friend of the show, it's great. It's really, really good. I had it the other night for the first time. So maybe we'll dip into that after the episode's over. So anyway, Curtis, what have you been drinking?
Well, I guess it's only fitting, but I've been having the 1792 single barrel.
This guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
This guy.
we'll have that next.
Yeah. So I've been having that, but I also have been having Johnny Drum.
Interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't anything. I didn't like pick it up or like seek it out. It's just like
Fell into your lap?
it kind of just fell. It fell into my my bourbon cabinet.
Interesting.
Literally.
Yeah.
It was.
Was it thrown through your window by
No,
a passing car? That's what it sounds like.
I just
They
moved
wrap it
into
around a brick and just toss it through your window.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Got a note on it.
It's like a Molotov cocktail, except they just were like, take it.
Except they want you to have bourbon.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a
thanks.
note on it that says you're welcome.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. No, I just moved into a new apartment, and so my new roommate, he had his own kind of like collection, so I had
cool.
some of that.
That's nice.
It's pretty good.
Look at you guys sharing
Yeah, I know.
your stuff together. So, because I'm still kind of, I would say, decompressing from Southern Whiskey Society, I have done nothing, I feel like, but drink the picks that I got that weekend, or some of the bottles that I got that weekend. I came home, I originally intended to come home with 2 bottles. I came home with 10.
Perry, that's more than 2.
That's way more than 2.
Yeah.
I do math for a living. I should know. That's more than 2.
2 Russell's picks, 3 Knob Creek picks. 2 of them were the same. It was that Bourbon Karma pick. A Booker's, that new riff pick from Adam Terry. He also gave me a little pre-fire Evan Williams 1783 bottle, which is real nice. But I also did something that I've been waiting a long time for, because it was finally my birthday last week, and I opened up my birth year bottle of Wild Turkey, which is around here somewhere.
Is it good?
It's phenomenal, dude. It's so flipping good.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Happy birthday.
I was worried. I was worried that it wasn't going to live up to expectation. You know, because I've had this bottle for months now. I've had it since. I've had it since the live show. So what was that? April. Beginning of April. So beginning of August, I finally got to open it. So 4 months later. And all my expectations were met. I was totally happy with it. It sucks that I can only have it once a year, though.
Yeah. We'll see how long that lasts.
Just start showing up to random people's birthday parties. It's like, it's birthday bourbon. And just pour yourself some. It's like, who are you?
Don't you know me and Barry? We're the host of this My Bourbon podcast.
Yeah,
Let's drink some bourbon.
I saw the balloons outside.
Just show up to a Chili's and wait for him to start singing happy birthday to somebody.
Oh, I can feel God in this Chili's tonight. Anyway, yeah, I opened my birth year turkey, which was pretty freaking awesome, and it's stashed away in the back of my cabinet.
Probably a good place
so
for
that
it.
I don't get into it.
There you go.
But anyway, back to 1792. Sorry for the break in the action there. Just realized that we
What
need
should we
to take
move
care of
to?
some business.
You said something about the single barrel.
I'm ready for the single barrel.
Yeah,
right.
I'm
So
curious
where-
because I've had 2 of these and they are both vastly different.
You know what I should have done is I should have gotten mine from behind the bar, so we could compare the two. I guess there's still time.
There's still time.
Curtis, would you be willing to venture back behind the bar again?
Sure.
Okay. Here's something interesting that I'm noticing as we're passing this bottle around. A while back, 1792 used to be age stated, and it also used to have a different design, different wrap around the neck. It was that rope, what's it called? Burlap. Thank you. This neck on the 1792 single barrel is what I would say looks the closest to that burlap wrap around the neck.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want to
That's all you
say.
got. That's fair.
I don't remember the proof being this high.
I don't either. And this is gonna sound dumb, but this is my gift bourbon. Anytime somebody's like into bourbon and they haven't had anything, I'm like, I'm gonna get one of these.
This is you gave me the single barrel that Kurt just brought out.
Yeah.
That's the bottle he gave for me when I graduated.
Yeah, I bought both these.
Yeah, and this is the bottle he gave for my engagement party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you did there, Swan.
Yeah. No, I think they're great because I mean I've got one guy in Frankfurt that just has this all the time, and I can go pick it up, and it's a little pricier, but it's not anything too bad, and it's every time it's pretty worth it.
I think this one's pretty worth it.
Lots of like honey vanilla.
Yeah, something happened when I got over like 95 proof on this that it dropped the banana.
I still get a little bit
Yeah.
of the banana, but not nearly as much as I did with the
small batch.
small batch.
See, for me, it just jumped straight into butterscotch.
I think it's like a happy medium between this high rye and the small batch.
Yeah. Anytime they add proof to 1792, it generally bodes well for me.
Same here. And I think vanilla is like a good note.
It's
to
very
talk about
like
on it.
French vanilla on the nose. Oh, there's something else in there. It's almost like movie theater popcorn. It's way back in the back of the nose.
Oh, but that palate, though.
Hello.
That is
Oh,
wildly
I was
different.
not expecting that.
Wildly different.
That is so good.
I'm going to finish this one so I can have some of yours, Perry, and see if there's a big difference.
Well, let's talk too about what it is that we're tasting. I'm finding like a green apple note on the palate, but there's also this nice layer of like, and it seems very layered to me. Like there's the green apple note. A little bit above that is like a rye bread. Okay, and then there's a little that the caramel I think is on the top of that. So it's this really interesting little combination of flavors. And there's even a savory note to it as well.
It's like a
Soft pretzel.
Yeah, it's like a
I get that where towards the back of the palate into the finish.
Yeah.
This is gonna be really specific. When I used to work at a daycare, and so it was great. And
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, it was my first job. I was a lunch lady. Remember? I think I told you about this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so there was one day it was like, we're just done. We don't want to serve anything, no hot food. So it was like, make your own sandwich day. And there'd be kids that would just show up and like, I want a peanut butter sandwich with chocolate chips and this and this and this and this. And it's like,
And mustard.
and mustard. Yeah. But just like that like layering aspect of like, I want a peanut butter sandwich with like marshmallow fluff and chocolate chips and Swedish fish and just random stuff.
Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah. But it's like that. It's like I don't know. It's definitely layered.
That's coming from the guy though who, when he was about 4 or 5 years old, said to his grandmother, "I want a ketchup and mustard sandwich."
Yeah.
So she put ketchup on one slice of bread and mustard on the other, and that was my lunch. It was a mistake.
Speaking of that, I've seen a lot of people make posts about making screwball cocktails. Have you seen this?
Uh-huh.
And they get like those 99 grapes vodka and mix it with peanut butter flavored whiskey.
Yeah.
It's called Screwball, and they're just like, it tastes like a peanut butter jelly sandwich. I was like, that looks like a nightmare is what it looks like.
Well, the guys over at the podcast, they did that with Screwball, and they did Manischewitz wine. I think that's what it was. I'd have to go back and check.
I might have to try it. There's a lot of people that
Oh,
enjoy
I would
it.
love to. I'd love to try that.
All right, I'm going to see how different this is. It's actually not that different. I think,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I think Kurtz has more depth on the nose.
Well, I remember when we had this for the first time, we were all kind of like, I'm not so sure about this.
Yeah.
Not that it was bad, it just didn't have a whole lot going for it.
Well, you had graduated, so the pours were 1792 single barrel, and then you had Blanton's Gold straight from the barrel, and a 1983 early times.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and Booker's Rye. You had Booker's Rye at the same night.
That's true.
So
that was a special pour night.
Yeah, it had some stark competition there for sure.
I'm getting more alcohol on the nose on this one
Yeah, it's
than I was on
definitely
Curtis's.
a little more ethanol heavy.
There's definitely like still a brown sugar sweet note to it on the nose, but it's definitely not as deep as Curtis's was.
Yours is softened out quite a bit.
It's almost like drinking beer.
I don't know.
It's a very easy drinker, I would say.
Yeah, it's just flattened out, kind of. Maybe you should drink your bottle rather fast.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get to this point.
Yeah, because this has been open for over a year now.
Yeah. No, I mean, and this is, I guess, just the single barrel thing, going back to our single barrel episode, is you're going to have some that are great and you're going to have some that aren't. But with these, like I said, they don't do a ton of picks of them. They do.
No.
They do them, but
I've seen them. I've seen them recently.
So you kind of just have to grab it and hope that it's good, because I have to imagine even getting, if a liquor store gets in a case of 6, I can't even imagine all 6 are from the same barrel.
Yeah, it's pretty flat. It's like a flat Pepsi.
Yeah.
It's
very specifically Pepsi. It's not.
Yeah, it's not Coke.
It's not
like
Coke.
A flat Pepsi. Just because it's sweeter is the difference.
Gosh, I haven't had a Pepsi in so long.
That's the other day.
That's something in my life that I don't need, and I don't want, because I just don't like Pepsi.
Yeah.
I'm very strongly a Coke person.
I'm very strongly a Coke person, but if they don't have it, I don't.
Oh, I can't. I can't do it. I don't ever really get in the mood for Coke, But if they're like, if I order it and they go, "Is Pepsi okay?" I go, "No, bring me water." I'll tell you the one soft drink I cannot drink though, Mountain Dew. Cannot do Mountain Dew. Oof.
Have you noticed how they've changed their branding over the years? It's gone from marketing towards the people of the South to video gamers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember their
Yep.
old little slogan they had was, "It'll tickle your innards."
Oh,
Don't like that.
No,
what on earth does that mean?
I have no idea.
I mean, I feel like I need to
Probably why you-
report it, but
Yeah, probably why you don't like it. You heard it here first, people.
show us on the doll where the Mountain Dew hurts you.
Oh gosh.
Anyway,
And onto the
onto the bottled and bond.
Yeah, so we'll save the 125 proof for last.
I think that's probably a
Yeah.
good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of picks of the bottle and bond. This one doesn't have a pick, so I was glad to find one that's the standard offering, so I can kind of see what it's like.
I found another thing branding wise that's a little different.
Yeah.
So each bottle, different edition.
Oh, yeah.
Has a different.
The different
Flourish,
flourish.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. I would like to have those nerd talk in vector form,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
because I feel like it would be a pretty cool print or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think this will probably be right up there with the high rye for me.
I got to be honest with you. This has been my least favorite nose so far.
What? Really?
I'm not getting hardly anything.
I'm just getting pretty much ethanol.
I'm getting ethanol and barrel char. I get a lot of the oaky barrel notes on there.
Yeah, and we picked this up. This was like like 2 months after it started hitting shelves, and Kentucky just wasn't getting any of it. And I think you went on a trip and actually found this one. I bought it off of you.
I'm just not finding
Try
a whole
the palate.
Yeah.
The palate, you get the same, a lot of ethanol.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah.
You know that flat quality that your single barrel had? This has that.
I get that as well.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I'm still finding notes in it, whereas my single barrel rather, was just kind of one consistent flavor. Mm-hmm. This actually has a little bit of interesting complexity to it, peppered throughout it, rather.
Yeah. But it's covered up by the hot.
Yeah, but like if I really start to find it, if I start to dissect it, which is what we're supposed to be doing anyway, I find like an orange zest. There's definitely an orange note buried underneath a lot of the heat. The barrel char really does come through, though. I would say, especially once it gets into the finish.
I think this one reminds me of Old Forester 100 a little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's kind of got that Brown Forman thing going on where it's jutting off in a bunch of different directions, and it's not really appeasing to like one specific area for me, but it's ethanol heavy at the same time. I think if I have to drink more of this, I probably won't do it straight. I think I'm actually going to make your cocktail with ginger ale.
Oh, yeah.
Splash of orange.
Ale 8.
Ale 8,
and splash of orange liqueur.
Yeah, I think that would be solid for this because it's got a little bit of that in it.
Yeah. I'm totally on board with that. I love 100 proof cocktails. Mm-hmm. 100 and up proof cocktails. I think that they are spectacular. And it's a great way to not lose your whiskey in the cocktail itself. I mean, that's just me. I'm more of a whiskey forward or a alcohol forward cocktail drinker.
Yeah. Wow. So bad that Swan dumped it.
I'm keeping
that bad?
I'm keeping it for a suicide blend if we do some more.
Okay,
I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was. It's just not lived up to everything else.
Nah, it's just hot.
It's also my fault too because I poured like normal the entire time, and then with this one I just dumped a bunch of it in there.
Yeah, I went a little bit heavier on this one for some reason.
I think it's because I don't have it that much. I was expecting it's like, that's something I don't have every day.
See, I did it because usually most bottle and bonds I'm like pretty high on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that could be the reason you see a lot of pics of this. Maybe their standard release that they've set as the standard is just not their favorite thing.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
I don't know.
I will say, though, I've had a couple of picks of the Bottled and Bond. It's not been great, honestly. And you know what sucks? I love OBC. OBC has great picks. Their 1792 Bottled and Bond pick was not that good. And I don't think that it's their fault. I think that this product is just not as good as it could be. Mm-hmm. And I was excited for it when it first came out. I was ready for it. I wanted a bottle of it. You know, it just didn't live up to the hype for me.
And I've seen a lot of people that say that it's the same way with those Old Forester picks that they do, the Old Forester single barrel picks. None of them are just spectacular to them.
Yeah.
Unless they're just a huge Old Forester fan to begin with.
Old Forester picks are weird.
Yeah, they're kind of all over the place.
You know what I'm ready for, though?
What's that?
Some 1792 full proof.
Full proof. Me too. 125.
Here we go. This is right in our home.
This bottle taught me something.
What did it teach you, Swan?
125 proof
like
hurts.
It brought you in. Oh, I was like,
no, honestly,
it brought you into manhood.
It did. No, it did actually.
Okay.
It did teach me the difference between full proof and barrel proof.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the first ones I saw that was labeled full proof.
This is, I would say, a really good way to get people into higher proof or barrel proof bourbons.
Yes. So I do get banana on this. The banana's back.
I get the banana, but I'm also getting this is the reason it's full proof. But like the charred, the oak, more of the barrel influence within that banana as well.
It's kind of dangerous though because I don't get as much ethanol as I do on the bottled and bond.
I don't either. Yeah, And I'm getting more flavors, more complex flavors too. More of like the caramel, more of the dark chocolate. I think I'm also getting some of the fruit, like a darker fruit.
I could see that.
I get it on the nose. I haven't gotten to the palate yet. Sorry.
See, I just took a drink. This is what the 1792's been missing. A finish.
That is a really good point.
Yeah,
I
and
can
this
get on board with that.
this has a finish. This has a very Booker's-esque style finish.
And I think that's part, like, we gravitate towards some of that.
I mean, all of them have had that kind of like lingering flavor aspect, but not like the burn finish that you get.
This is, to me, a higher proof Booker's blended with a lower proof Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Yeah, it's there.
I think that it has all those characteristics while not being overbearing and not really kind of punching you in the face.
Yeah, I usually
Too
get a
much?
lot of like spice punch from Booker's, and that's definitely toned down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because this is definitely more of like a sweet, savory.
Sweet, savory. Like, I think it's a really nuanced, high, foolproof bourbon.
It's silky. I mean, it's a very like dark chocolate silkiness that, like, honestly, like Dove dark chocolate that kind of coats the tongue as you're moving from the palate to the finish. I like this pour a lot.
Yeah, this is really
Yeah.
good.
I just got kind of giddy.
think
Like,
that-
I want more of this.
I really think that's a big. I think the foolproof, man. That's the one. It's the 1792 foolproof. Out of everything we've had tonight, anyway, that's the one that I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
I've also
right there.
had
And the
probably-
high rye. I think the high rye was.
The high rye's good. Your single barrel's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's between the foolproof and your single barrel.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought your single barrel. Maybe it's because I have had multiple single barrels before and they've just not been up to snuff. But like, that one really caught me off guard. It really, really surprised me, and I was all about it.
Yeah.
That's like the 1792 version of his bottle of McKenna that he would not finish. And
Oh,
it's-
Curtis knows all about it.
yeah,
yeah.
it's special.
I had it
man.
multiple times. It was special. I don't know. I think everything we've tried today was pretty solid, except regarding the bottle and bond. I think that's more of a not so much for me.
Yeah, so if I had to rank this, and I hate to have to rank it, but
'Cause they're different.
right? And like it's not necessarily in terms of like the bottom was terrible and the top was just outstanding, but like it for me is just kind of preference, right? So the bottle and bond I think is at the bottom. It had a lot of really good things I think going on with it, but it just kind of took a little bit for me to really get there, which is not bad. It's not a bad thing, but I think that it could have been a little bit more upfront with its flavors. Unfortunately, the small batch was next up for me.
Which I think's fine for a standard offering.
I think so too. So we, of course, Curtis is tired of hearing about it. We talk about Turkey 101 all the time. I think that Turkey 101 is a great representation of their brand and fits really well into their profile and into their product line without being too off the mark or anything. It's a great price. It's a great proof. There's just a lot going for it. That's not to say that the small batch 1792 doesn't have a lot of good things going for it, but I think that it could be a little bit higher in quality just if you're trying to get people into the brand, right? I would then go my single barrel. I would go the high rye. I would then go your single barrel, Curtis. And yeah, I think the foolproof is probably... I think the foolproof has definitely got to be, what I'm going to go for in this case.
Yeah.
But
I think the high rye is my favorite.
yeah,
Yep. I think it's my favorite. Honestly, nose, palate. I think it's probably my favorite.
finish and price.
Finish and price, yes. But
Never pull fleshy Pearsons.
yeah,
Yeah, I do too. I hate it very, very much.
If
Yeah.
we're ranking, I think I would go Honestly, I think the bottle and bond to to your single barrel to small batch to my single barrel to high rye to full proof.
Yeah, and I mean, we basically had the same top three, just kind of shifted around a little bit.
Yeah.
I would take I would take the high rye any day of the week. I think it's delicious. But there was just something about your single barrel and the full proof. It just had more complexity to it.
Yeah.
It had more depth. And, and this is coming from somebody who loves high rye bourbons. I love high rye bourbons. But in this case, I mean, there was just that little something extra that the full proof and your single barrel had to offer that put it over the edge for me.
Yeah. And I think if we had the sweet wheat, I think that would probably be pretty up there too.
I've heard really good things about the sweet wheat. I think the only thing I've heard about the port finish is they said it's good, but it has a bit of a dry finish to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Chad's actually said that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's probably worth picking up if you can find it.
Sorry, I just had another sip of the full proof. And
Do you want some more?
It's so dang good. I might have to indulge here in a second.
Okay.
But, yeah. Hey, my overall impression, 1792, good stuff, man.
Pretty good, man.
I mean, I think that they have a good range of products that can appeal to a lot of people. I do wish that we had the sweet wheat just so we could have something a little bit more, accessible to a broad spectrum of flavor profiles. But in this case, I think that, it's good to talk through a product line. It's good to talk through a brand's, different installments that they have.
Yeah.
And my advice, just try everything. I nothing's going to set you back too much. I mean, the highest price is the full proof, right? That's what, $60?
60, yeah.
And that's really not that bad.
No, and I've actually not had a pick of this that hasn't been good. So
Yeah.
it's not, I mean, finding it from some little liquor store that's got 2 or 3 cases of them that's a pick, you pick 1 or 2 of them up.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, I think that there's something for everybody in the 1792 line. So,
and they all do it pretty well. I think it's all
I think so too.
solid.
I think so too.
really good.
It's just, when we do things like rank, it's not out of, we despise.
Great to bad, yeah.
Right, exactly. We don't despise something. It's just, if I had to choose between something out of this line, this is what I would prefer. Again, man, the bottled and bond and the small batch are not bad. Yeah, they're my bottom 2, but it's just because there are other products in their line that I like better.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it for me. So I think I'm definitely going to have some more of this foolproof here in a second. But we do have tips and bits to get through.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. What recommendations do you have this week, guys?
I got one. I came up with one just now. It was good.
Okay.
I mean, I thought about it all day.
Sure you
It's
did.
So I've been watching this new series on Netflix. It's not really new. They've got 3 seasons on it. It's called Designated Survivor.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Kiefer
never watched it.
Sutherland.
Yeah. It's great. It's a political thriller, but it does not get into politics too much. I don't know how to explain that, but
Yeah.
they definitely don't. They get into more of like crisis management more than anything else, but it's just interesting to watch. I started it today when I was at work, and I've watched like 8 episodes already.
Yeah. And just to give a summary, that's where the does the White House blow up?
Yeah, so basically there's like a
And
chain of
he-
command for the presidency, and they're doing the State of the Union, so it basically requires everyone to be there except for the designated survivor,
Yeah.
should anything happen. And he's just chilling in like a hoodie and t-shirt and just watching TV, and then all of a sudden the Capitol building blows up, and it's
And
like,
he has to become
you're the
president.
president.
Yeah.
And he's got like this role that's way down the totem pole, and he has to fill that role very quickly.
Yeah, that's cool. My tips and bits is going to be, it's about that time for fantasy football, and I love fantasy
Do
football.
you?
Oh,
Oh, all
I
right.
love fantasy football.
Here's what I'm hearing.
So-
here's what I'm hearing.
What?
a This Is My Bourbon podcast fantasy football league.
I'm down.
All right.
What's up, Commissioner Kurt?
Yeah. What's up, guys? I'll be guiding you through this, and no, I would definitely be down for that. If people are interested, if the listeners are interested, I would no doubt go for it.
We'll chat about it. We could probably make something happen.
I love fantasy football. I used to think that about three years ago is when I first started, and I was like, ugh. And I didn't really watch football that much. I was interested, but I didn't really care. I also thought was like, this is stupid. Like, why would you ever like get competitive about fantasy points, you know? And then I started playing. It's a lot of fun.
So here's been my experience with fantasy sports.
Okay.
I've been really excited about them. I'm like, I'm gonna participate every week. I'm super gung ho for the draft. About 2 weeks into it, I totally lose interest.
Okay.
I don't ever update my teams. I don't try to make trades or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm always in last place.
I guess.
Know? So if you wanna win an easy competition, join our.
Here's another thing.
Join our
Did you
fantasy football
ever?
league.
Was there ever anything on the line? Was there any stakes on the line?
No.
Any money on the
Nah,
line?
nah.
That's why. I do not do any leagues.
So you play for keeps.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Perry, I got an idea for you. We're
Okay.
gonna have 2 leagues. I'll do one. Kurt will do one. You're gonna go for the most points. Whoever can get the best overall season,
You're just gonna be for the least points.
and for the least points, will be my league.
I love it. I love that.
So whoever
much.
can be the absolute worst. So the draft will be the exact opposite. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna pick up second string, whoever. Just throw it on there.
I'm not even gonna participate in the draft if that's the case.
Yeah, just auto draft everything.
Well, the problem is that you're going to end up having people. You don't want to auto draft everything.
Yeah, that's true
Because
because
then
you
you'd
might
have
actually
good.
get somebody.
No, you would get good players.
Oh man,
So-
have you ever watched
So
the
you're
league?
trying to trade down.
Yeah.
Like you're
Well,
trying
here's the
to
thing.
trade
If
for
you
a
be-
third string safety.
You wouldn't need to though. You literally could pick up. Everyone would have like players that don't play, and everyone would have like 0 points.
True,
pretty much.
but
not to
all right.
like
so
burst,
so
not
good
to-
in
not to,
idea,
like,
not
burst your
good in
bubble.
execution.
If you like fantasy football, watch the league. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, phenomenal.
Nick
that
Kroll's
shows,
in that, right?
yes, and it is
Yeah.
hilarious.
I've been meaning to watch it.
You will start it and you're like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen because the pilot episode is terrible.
How many shows are like that though?
Yeah, I mean, but it's just like The Office or Parks and Rec where you get about halfway into season 1, you're like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna watch it.
So yes, fantasy football, man,
Yeah,
it's coming
I
up.
can get on board with that.
If we want to have a league, I'm down to be commissioner.
I think you are automatically commissioner because you're the one who brought it up.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I was just stating. If we have interested parties, I'll be there.
Nah, it's all you, man. You're part of the group. I mean, it's not like you can't make posts and everything.
Yeah, that's true.
So I know that 2 weeks ago I talked about this, but I am still very much on a Tyler Childers kick. He has a great album that just came out. Also, his keyboard player, Chase Lewis, used to play keyboards for my band, Bad Sign,
Really, that's
which
cool.
was our little blues cover band. So is this tips and bits or is this me bragging? I'm sorry if it is.
It's a
But-
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit. Yeah, exactly. But they were on Jimmy Fallon last week, which is crazy. I mean, like I got to watch somebody that I know pretty well play with an artist that I love.
That's wild.
And I mean, he just got to play at Railbird, which was Lexington's inaugural big music festival and everything with Tyler and everything. So it's just very cool to see somebody that you've supported, move on to really cool and big things. And I guess maybe my tip or bit is support local music, support local artists and creatives and everything, because good things do come from you going to gigs where nobody else is there on a Tuesday night, just because you appreciate what they do and everything. I've been there before too. I played plenty of gigs where there was nobody there. I mean, granted, it was at 1 a.m. on a Thursday night, but different conversation for another time. Anyway, Tyler Childers' new album is so daggum good. You gotta go listen to it. Anyway, that's it. I think that does it for this episode.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
at Railbird and supporting.
Did you go?
And supporting local artists. There was a stage specifically for local artists.
Yeah, the Burl stage.
It's called the Burl stage.
Oh, so good.
So that's
kind
of cool.
I love that. The Wooks played on that stage, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you've not looked them up, you definitely need to go look them up. They're a fantastic local bluegrass band. I mean, I cannot say enough good things about them. But anyway, support your local music scene. That's my tip and bit. That does do it for this episode, though. Thank you all so much for listening. I love doing these episodes where we just kind of do a deep dive into a product or into a brand's product. I think it's a lot of fun. So we'll do more of these in the future. If there is anywhere on social media that people can find you, where can they do that, guys?
On Instagram, you can find me at KurtCon, and on Twitter, Kurt_Con15.
I'm on Instagram and Facebook at My Bourbon Finder. That's it?
Yeah, that's all I got.
If you would like to follow me personally, I am at PRitter1492 on all social media channels. If you'd like to follow the show, though, we are at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We would love to have you as a part of those little communities. Please give us a 5-star rate and review on iTunes. That really does help us find new listeners and get us more in the public's eye. There's something weird about iTunes where they have an algorithm where the more people, download and rate and review, the more people actually get to see the show. So if you have other people who would like to listen to, or you think would like to listen to this show, please do that and share it around, of course. You can head to bourbonshop.threadless.com for all of our apparel and merch. Got some new stuff that's going to be coming up there very, very soon, so be on the lookout for that. If you have any questions or comments, you can send them to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. Love hearing from listeners of the show. And we would be more than happy to read out your questions and answer them on every podcast. So if you have something for us, we would be happy to talk about it. And then last but not least, if you'd like to become a patron of the show, you can head to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support this show and all of the creative work that goes into it. It's not the easiest thing in the world, of course, every week to create content and edit every episode. So if you are able to do that and support the show in even just a very small way, it does help us out tremendously, and we always appreciate it. If you do decide to support the show, you get great things like bonus episodes. You get to be a part of our community chats. You get to be in for our Google Hangouts as well, where we all have some great pours and we get to talk to each other about what's been going on. And it's a little peek behind the curtain into what I'm like when I'm not recording a podcast. So go and check that out for sure. Again, that's patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. Thank you all so much for listening. I think this has been a really fun episode. I'm ready for next week already.
Yeah.
You guys want to go ahead and record? No, I'm just kidding.
Record another episode?
We're doing double duty tonight.
Okay.
Now, we will see you all next week. Thank you so much
trouble.
for listening. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you all next week, but until then, I'm Perry.
I'm Curtis.
And I'm Swan.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast. Holy crap, that's a big spider. Oh my gosh, that is one of the biggest spiders I've ever seen.
What is that?
I don't know.
It's outside. So
I mean, it is, but holy my gosh, it's so big. It's going to give me spider powers.
Something's going to tingle if it bites you.